convention full of wonderful people, staff, cosplayers, and vendors. I can't wait to have fun. But first, how do I have fun? This is my first convention, and I'm not sure how to operate this new experience before me. Oh, look! Convention tips and tricks. Let's watch it!
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Cosplay Tea Time, your source where we talk about anime themes, we talk about the art of cosplaying, we talk about everything under the sun related to cosplay, and we are so excited for us to be back and chatting away. Today we're going to be sharing some tips and tricks when attending conventions. We're mostly going to be referring to in-person conventions, but before we begin all of that, I want to introduce our lovely guest Tisa first, starting with...
Hello. I go by Ardentwings online. And yeah, I'm not cosplaying right now. But I usually cosplay Aspen, so I wear my Aspen necklace and my bracelet. So that's my little homage to my cosplay. Hello. I can't remember what else we wanted to say. Is there anything else that I should clue everyone in on?
Just like name, pronouns, that sort of thing.
Oh, pronouns. That's the one I was missing. I go by she, her. And yeah, I've been going to conventions since 2011, so hopefully I have some good tips for you guys.
Hi, my name's BelladonnaRoseCosplays. Today I'm cosplaying Deku from My Hero Academia. I'm kind of in like an 80s version though, like I don't think I could stand up right now, but I reassure you I'm like in an 80s Deku today. Sort of like themes. I just go like with whatever pronouns. I really don't care. I'm pretty chill about it. Until you offend me, but yeah, Jen made that face. But I now have an Instagram, BelladonnaRose.cosplays, if you want to follow me there. I also have my original BelladonnaRose.cosplays TikTok, and just anything in the link tree that you find is mine. And
Very nice. Well, thank you both for joining me today. My name is Jen. I'm the founder of Cosplay Tea Time and today's host. I've been cosplaying for almost 3 years now, debuting as always the Nora Valkyrie because she's my favorite character from the show RWBY. And you can find me Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Jen.Cosplays45. So, intros out of the way, we have just one fun icebreaker question. It's a classic Cosplay Tea Time icebreaker question. We're going to start with Sayo, which is, if you can invite a character to tea, like a little tea party, afternoon tea, who would you invite?
Without a doubt, Osmond. Professor Osmond from RWBY. I would love to pick his brain about literally everything. He fascinates me. So, yeah.
I think I would take Denki to tea. Because me and Denki were just born in the same month, we are basically just the same person, I'm now realizing. And I think how awesome it would be just to take him to tea. Like, just all the things that he'd, like, I don't know, that we just, like, talk about. Like, I don't know. Things that would happen.
I see
yeah.
him enjoying it. He would enjoy a little break from the others, so I could see it happen. Let's see. I think I'll pick a RWBY character as well, and I would say Nora Valkyrie. There actually is a chibi little episode about like the tea party with the girls and whatnot, and Klein, little adorable Klein. So I think letting her like go again and hopefully have some crumpets or some scones or something sweet to eat. I think we would just have like a fun time and just talk about random topics like fashion and like different fighting sequences and stuff. So I think it'd be a lot of fun. Alright, so that was my one and only icebreaker question for today. Just gonna cut into a tiny little commercial break, which is to just talk about what Cosplay Tea Time is and how one can join. So we've been going strong for about a little over a year now, crazy to think. We're just a podcast where we talk about different topics, whether it's about fandoms, different animes, the art of cosplaying. We have like a video out there somewhere on the channel of like upcoming topics and themes and dates, which are subject to change, like this one was. So thank you both for being flexible with your schedule and whatnot. So if you're a cosplayer and you're interested and you want to join, whether it's one podcast or multiple, we would love to have you. Message us on our Instagram. It's cosplay_tea_time. We'll get you squared away in the Discord server. And I do want to also mention to those that have been supporting us throughout the year and whatnot, just want to say thank you. Love seeing the comments, people sharing posts, people joining. It means a lot to me. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go and continue on, which is the topic of the hour-ish, which is convention tips and tricks. So I just have a list of questions for you all to kind of explore, bounce ideas off of, and we're gonna start with the first one, which is when should you start preparing for a convention?
Oh gosh. Well, first of all, that is, in my opinion, partially to do with whether or not you're going to make your cosplay, buy your cosplay, or do a closet cosplay, because that will also determine the amount of time you need to start preparing for a convention. And it also depends on the difficulty and your skills and all that kind of stuff. So if you're making your cosplay, give yourself enough time. Whatever your skill set is, maybe make a planning list about when you want to finish things and pad it a little bit, because getting into con crunch is not fun. I know a lot of people have been there, and con crunching all the way into the hotel room is stressful. So don't do that to yourself. And actually the same can be said about if you're buying your cosplay. Depending on where you're buying it from, make sure you know what the lead time is and give yourself a little bit of a buffer on that, because, like, God forbid something gets lost in the mail, especially if you're near a holiday. Make sure you give yourself enough time, especially if it's a custom order. And if you're just doing like closet cosplay or going plain clothes or something like that, I would still suggest making a packing list or starting packing up to like a week early, because you never know what you're going to bring. Just make sure you give yourself enough time, because there's always a lot to bring. There's always a lot to do, and you don't want to forget something.
It's very true.
Especially if you're traveling far. Yeah.
I know what con crunching's like, because I just did it 2 days ago. Yeah. So, a lot of what Sayo said is true. Definitely. For me, what I do is, even though I might, let's say I'm going to like a 2-day convention for both days, I have 4 cosplays. 2 cosplays I already have, or 3 cosplays I already have, and one that I want to make. Or maybe I just like have all 4 cosplays that I already have made. But if you're making a cosplay, you should probably have a backup cosplay that's in your closet, because what if you don't get that cosplay done? And plus you have like another option. You really do. And yeah, it fits if you let it fit. For example, I'm, as of the recording of today, we pre-record these recordings. 2 days ago, before this recording, I just finished con crunching cosplay. In case if I didn't finish her, the whole time I just kept thinking, if I don't finish this cosplay, I'm just gonna go as like Deku or like Bakugo or just someone like that. It's like I already have them. I was like thinking insanely like deep down in the sauce, like you won't believe. But usually what I do is, even though I know a certain cosplay might not take that much time, you really don't know, so you might want to start like a year or maybe like 2 years in advance or maybe 6 months in advance. Just give yourself a date where, okay, I need to get these materials on this time and I need to make sure I have time to make this cosplay and really take my time with it, because in reality, when you're making a cosplay, it's not that simple. You have a lot of thinking and you just have a lot that goes into it. It's fun, but it can also be stressful. But it's still fun. So that's my advice. I might come up with something later too to scroll back on this, but I probably won't.
There's something I'd like to add real quick, just working off of that. You're talking about materials and what you need to get and all that, and I just wanted to also add that you also need to factor in experimentation and rework. Especially if it's a new skill you're trying to pick up. So like that made me think of that.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and I would suggest that if you are picking up a new skill, like let's say you've never worked with foam before, definitely don't choose a cosplay that has foam work before a convention. Choose practicing with foam first before doing a cosplay after the con, because then you're gonna have more than enough time to get experience with just like working with the little foam sample pieces that you're doing, just all that fun stuff. So, yeah.
It was all really, really good stuff. So, kind of piggybacking both of y'all. So, I didn't realize like the idea of like, like how many cosplay pieces. Like if it's like an expert cosplay where there's like so many different pieces, you have to buy stuff. Like, of course, you're gonna want to plan that like months in advance versus like closet cosplay. You can literally grab a t-shirt and jeans or a skirt and be like, all right, like that's about 5 seconds and we're done. So, yeah. For me, when I went to a convention, I think I prepared like a month. Like I started like a month beforehand, and that was just like getting my list together. Like this is what I need, my makeup, like different cosplay pieces and whatnot. And because I was gonna do like 2 separate characters, and they needed very different things, it was like I had to make sure that I had everything because I wasn't gonna run into Walmart looking the way I did. # not sponsored. But yeah, it took me about a month. It took me about a month just to figure out everything, and then I think I started packing like the week before. I usually have everything like separated in little bags and whatnot, so I just have to like grab those and make sure I grab the essentials, of course, like deodorant, which is funny. That's what we're going to be talking about next, which is what should you pack to the convention, aka what's in your convention bag.
Okay, and that actually is a perfect segue, because with the previous question and what you were saying, I was also thinking, so it still applies to this question. One little time saver that I have done for more recent cons is I've actually created an Excel spreadsheet that I can print out. That is a specific packing list for each character that I have. And also there's a section for like the miscellaneous stuff that can apply to everything or just me as a person. And that is a lifesaver. The number of things I could have forgotten without that packing list. But that said, the things on that packing list, definitely the things that you absolutely need for the particular characters that you want to cosplay, whatever those pieces may be, armor, clothing pieces, accessories, etc., or specific makeup, contacts, those sorts of things. But you also want to make sure you have all of like your hygiene products, your maybe some extra clothing just in case, some comfy things for if you're staying the night at the hotel, or staying all 3 or however many nights you stay at any particular con. Make sure you have your toothbrush, your toothpaste. Luckily, some hotels will have those things if you do forget, but they're not that great. They're good in a pinch, but you want to try and remember those things: deodorant, soap, face wash, makeup wipes, you know, anything you can think of that would either make it easier for you in a hotel room, or work to cleanliness and health and all that kind of stuff, as well as, you know, having fun being in cosplay. And then for me personally, one of my friends had this idea, and I will never forget it. It's the most brilliant thing ever. We've also started packing like Boost meal replacement drinks, because you get into everything, and you should be eating meals, but sometimes you forget. And so if you have that drink, you're at least eating something. You're not completely dying. So we've started packing those and other little snacks and stuff, and water as well.
Good stuff. Nice. All right, Bella.
So, the one thing that I really take in consideration whenever I do like packing is I only bring like money with me in case if I need to like get food, but I also bring a snack or something like that it's not airborne, it won't trigger any allergies, because you know, in the cosplay community you are dealing with people too, and people have food allergies. It's a real thing, and you don't want to trigger those food allergies. I especially try to stay careful around like peanuts or you know, like, so I'm allergic to mint airborne, so that I just have like a little mask on myself or whatever, in case if like someone's like, I'm gonna eat something with mint, and I'm like, oh, mask time, because I have like the heavy mask thing. It's not like a gas mask, but it's more of just like, it has like 2 things of fabric sewn together, and it's a wonderful. But yeah, just definitely food, that little snack on you that won't trigger food allergies. If you know that you can't eat anything at a con, definitely bring food with you that, you know, you can eat. And don't be worried about it. Don't be worried. No one's gonna look at you. It's fine. It's all in your head. No one's gonna look at you. Yeah, the food thing is kind of just like a big thing for me. But I do pack like alcohol pads, deodorant, extra makeup. Okay, this is gonna get a little bit grandma-ish of me, but I pack first aid kit. I pack
good for you.
fabric glue. I pack hot glue gun. Oh, I pack the whole thing, baby, not the whole house. I wish though. Like, I pack all of the materials that I could ever need. My wig styling stuff, except for the mannequins and the tripods. But I like pack all that stuff, so that way I'm just like, I'm prepared. Not just myself, but everybody around. I kind of take it to the extreme a little bit. Yeah.
Packing the whole craft store. Let's go. Just in case.
Those, Bluetooth beats. So you can just, at a boredom, pump in those beats. If you want to see a past convention vlog of mine, go to my YouTube and just look up SwampCon one. It's great.
Love it. Yes. Oh, let's see what's in my convention bag. My first thing was printing out my tickets. I know it was like on my phone, like the little Scantron thing, but I'm like, sometimes technology just doesn't want to cooperate. So just in case, I always print out a spare ticket. Trying to think. I had this all in order. So I have a ticket. I have a reusable water bottle that I carry around with me. I also have like some granola bars, not the ones that leave crumbs everywhere, but the good granola bars. Also, too, with your cell phone, make sure that it's on low power mode because you will be going through a lot of battery life, especially if you're like me and you're taking photos every 5 inches. It's like take a photo of this, take a photo of this. Oh, somebody wants a selfie and stuff. So make sure you set your phone on low power mode and make sure that it's fully charged and ready to rock and roll. So I also too discovered like bringing just like a folder, like a school folder, so that way, sometimes there are like nice artists who will like give you like some drawings or be like, hey, I made this handout, would you like it and stuff. And I was so worried last time because I was like, I had to put it in my book bag and I was worried about it crumpling. So, bring like an empty folder. You can store like business cards, like stickers and whatnot. So that's also helpful.
A big boy backpack on you.
I do. And it's bright pink, so you can't miss me.
Yeah. Okay, so make sure. Oh my gosh, I swear, I do this too. Make sure whenever you pack, the backpack is bigger than everything that you're packing, or you have like an extra suitcase in the car, so that way, if you buy anything that does not fit in your backpack and it's like in bags, you can put that in your suitcase. And when you get home or when you get back to wherever you're traveling to at the end of the day, you can just take that thing out and just roll it up and like bing bada boom. Think smarter, not harder.
Exactly. Yeah, you definitely want to make sure you have enough room in case you buy items. Yeah. You might buy like plushies and stuff too. So, and I think the last 2 things I had was like a sweater because it was like end of April, early May, so it's like that weird time where it's not too hot, not too cold. And then some Band-Aids as well because I am prone to accidents. We just had some this week, so yeah.
This is why we have the first aid kit.
See, hey Bella, I'll be okay.
Sorry.
Oh gosh, we got it. Alrighty, so now that we're all packed and ready to go, do tell us what are some things that you can do during a convention?
Oh my, there's so many things. Some of that will depend on the size of the convention. But generally speaking, you're gonna have the dealers hall, the artist alley. Both of those you can wheedle away so much time. There's so many things to look at in just those 2 places alone. And then besides that, there's always panels for various different fandoms, and there's often a lot for crafting or how-tos or in-character panels, any number of panels, to be honest. Usually there's some kind of schedule. I know there's a move to guidebook as opposed to a lot of physical schedules, although they do still have the printouts or the booklets, depending on the convention. So there's some kind of programming going on. Many conventions have a rave in the evenings to go dance to some cool music with a DJ. And there's tabletop gaming at a lot of places, or video gaming at a lot of places. And cosplay competitions, the masquerade, or those such things, and tons more, I'm sure, that I'm not thinking of right now, but the list goes on.
Love it.
And the list goes on and on and on and on and on. I have the BTS song in my head now. Thank you. So, what's the question again?
Okay. What can you do at a convention?
What can I do at conventions? Well, so depending on the events list that they have, you can go to the events and you can kind of just like hang out. Like Sayo said, they have an artist's alley. They have like a vendor's hall, which vendors you can like buy stuff from people from like the salesperson there. It's like a big old room. I know what I try to do every time I go to a convention is if they have it, I try to go to like the maid cafe, which you go, you sit down, you give your cake, you eat the cake, and you watch these other cosplayers or like a group do like a dance performance. And it's actually really cool. Like, it's really fun too. I've seen maid cafes before, and I'm just like, I love these convention maid cafes. Bravo, bravo. But something I like to do whenever I first arrive to the convention is just get myself familiar with the map, whether I'm on a college campus or I'm at a convention where, it's not a college campus, it's at like just look at where everything is, and that will also give you more awareness to know where security is in case if something bad happens. For example, if somebody is trolling you and your friends and you're not comfortable with that, which I don't think anybody would be comfortable with. But if you're going alone, definitely when you're walking on the con, just doing that first thing, I would definitely see if there are like people who are like in groups and stuff too. So that way like, okay, I'm pinpointing the amount of people that are around me that are in groups, and if I need to go to them for safety, I can. And usually my experience is that they will help you, and if I'm in a group and you see me and you're in an uncomfortable situation, I will help you. So yeah, that's kind of like a bad situation to be in when someone's trolling you, because it's very it's just, you don't know what's going to happen to you that's like bad. But definitely do that in case of that situation or anything bad happens, so that way if you're in the horrible situation, you know where the nearest security guard is and you can grab them. Also, so you know where like each event is too, and you can also have like a physical map to guide you, and always know like where you are too. Like, bring a little pen or bring a pencil, have like your cell phone on paper, or if you have it on your phone too, that's fine. I know with a lot of people, paper's like, it helps. Yeah, just understand where like everything is. Have like the event schedule with you too, in case if you want to do anything there. Know where the cafeteria is in case if you want to get some food or you want to sit down and eat your food you brought, and just all that fun little jazzy stuff.
Yeah, it sounds like all kind of like the little planners, got to figure out what's going on, who's showing up, which panel do I want to go to, and then also like figuring out like the layout and whatnot. So, and I feel like that is kind of helpful.
I would definitely have all that stuff printed out the night before, if you can, or just ready on your phone like the night before, so that way you can study before bed or whatever, if you have like a bad memory. If not, so it really depends on you. But I know I don't have a good memory anymore, so I just kind of like do that. But I would make sure that when you get to the convention, the first thing you do is just walk around and see where everything is. And if your friends who are like, we don't want to do that, we just want to get into something, it's boring. And you're just like, hey guys, this is kind of important right now, like first thing when we get in. So yeah. And if you're gonna go to a convention where there's gonna be like a lot of people, I would plan to get there like before anybody else, that way you don't feel like you're going through a crowd just to like look around the whole space, like the whole building that you're in. So that's kind of like my little super cosplayer game plan. Yeah,
it's always good to have a game plan. And speaking of game plans, we mentioned this a little bit earlier, which is the ever-dreaded con crunch. So what are some tips for folks out there to avoid con crunch?
Well, quick addition to the last question. I also forgot autograph signings and photo shoots. Those are really big.
Yeah.
So, like, those were important. But avoiding con crunch.
Yeah.
So, I guess be realistic about your skill sets and make a plan in advance to kind of break down when you want something done and how long you think it'll take you. Be as realistic as possible. Add a little bit of time just in case, because things come up, some material doesn't work out, maybe you have to wait for your next paycheck unexpectedly, or you have to spend money emergency on something else, or there's all kinds of factors where you want to put a little bit of a buffer in for the just in case. But then sticking to your schedule as best you can within reason. If you have things planned out reasonably, you will be able to more or less avoid con crunch. Sometimes things happen where it's not completely avoidable. Because with crafting or putting anything together, really, sometimes it also might come down to emotional mental health and motivation and stuff like that. And there are various things in life that might, hit you right there, and it can be hard to continue, even if it's something fun. So you kind of want to, just make sure you try to factor in some of these possibilities so that you don't stress yourself out later, and then make it infinitesimally worse and have to bring all your sewing machines to the convention and do it all night at the hotel room. Hi. I've been there many, many times. And I try not to. I need to take my own advice. But do as I say, not as I do.
Exactly. Oh, poor thing. Oh, goodness.
Oh, and try to make sure you sew your snaps on. If you have snaps, sew them on the correct way. Don't sew them on backwards. Don't be me.
Now you're talking to me. Okay.
Just sobbing in the hotel room, ripping my buttons off.
Oh, no.
Or my little snaps. Yeah, don't do that. Avoid that at all costs. Get it done before you're in the hotel room.
Noted.
This is why we cost test as we make the costume, and then right after it's done.
Yes, that.
I know about before you do it, but I know about during and after it's done.
Oh gosh, Bella, do you have anything else you want to add about avoiding the con crunch?
When it comes to like con crunching and stuff, I would definitely get the heavy butt stuff done before. For example, if you're sewing like Jinx's leather top by hand, make sure you have that done first, because that will be intense for you if you like hand sew a whole cord butt cosplay. But definitely know how your materials work, drying time of glue. Definitely know what you can multitask when making a cosplay, so that way you don't have to con crunch this boy. And whenever I was so I decided to con crunch last week while studying on top of all that stuff. But I definitely did it the smart way, where I did multitask my stuff, but I still crunched it, so I didn't have to deal with it this week, and I could just like gain back sleep. But I would definitely boy con crunch, start your cosplay a little bit earlier than anticipated. Know your budget for the costume, know how much you make, know how much you have left in your budget, and just, yeah, all that stuff. What is on my foot? Oh, it's nothing. I felt wrong.
You're fine. Those are some good pointers and whatnot to kind of go over. So, yes, definitely plan a few months out, plan a month before, have your Excel sheet, your list going and whatnot. There's also an app called Cost Planner that can also help with keeping track of like different pieces, whether or not you have that piece, kind of see like the progress bar on that specific cosplay. Just making sure that you're taking care of yourself mentally and physically, because it can be draining to do all of that. So I see it.
Not sure if you can see it. I'm showing
A little bit. It's kind of blurry. The camera's being weird.
Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna explain it. So it has like a wig and all of stuff in it, like a blue wig, and the background of it is kind of just like purple. But you're gonna know it whenever you see the app Cosplayer spelled Cosplanner. Yeah, but it's actually technically easy to use. And I've used it ever since I started cosplay.
It's good to know. Just really want to wrap up real quick too. Make sure that you have like all your supplies, medical, toiletries and whatnot. If you need to make like another list, so that way before you go to convention or your hotel or something, you can like go to like a convenience store or something and pick up like snacks and whatever else you might need. So there's all that.
Can I add one more? Can I add one more?
One more, and then we got the next question.
I definitely know there are people who have talked about this, because this is super, super important. I'm so sorry I cut you off, Jen, but this is super important. Ladies, have a toiletry pack on you. Just make a little pack of like all the toiletries that you might need. Big boys, small boys, medium boys, name it. And definitely if you wear contacts, pack like some contact solution with you too. You can find like the little ones at the store, or like at a eye doctor's place.
Yeah, that's a good thought too. And I always pack extras with me, because you never know when you're in the bathroom and somebody's like, I need one. It's like, I have one. It's clean. So you gotta help each other out.
On that note, also medication. That one's a good one. Don't forget your medication.
Make sure you take your medication. Set a timer on your phone. Have a friend remind you or something. We want to make sure everyone's staying safe and taking care of themselves. So, speaking of folks and whatnot, so when someone starts to feel overwhelmed, like at convention, there's just so much going on, which is a lot. It's pretty much what conventions are. So when they start to feel overwhelmed, where can folks kind of retreat to or find like a quiet space?
Depending on the size of the convention, there's often little areas that are kind of devoid of a lot of people, and you can kind of pull up over there if you want. Might take a little bit of searching in that case. If you have a hotel room, or if a friend has a hotel room, that's a good place to go. Otherwise, finding a staff member, they might be able to tell you where a rest zone might be. Some places do have those kinds of areas. But even depending on where you are, even just going out into the parking lot, if you need to get away from the crowds and the sounds and the everything going on in the convention, just going out to the parking lot could even be helpful in that case. Or the vestibule, depending on what kind of convention center you're at, if it's indoor, outdoor. I haven't been to a whole lot of outdoor cons, but I think they do exist. But yeah, there's some options. It might just take a little bit of walking.
Yeah.
I know if you're on a college campus, there's a convention going on. A lot of college campuses, they do have libraries. So if the library is close to wherever the con is, just definitely pop over to the library. It's super quiet. Maybe you can, like, I don't know, just sit down, chill for a little bit. If not, if you drive, and you get overstimulated, you can definitely, like, run out to, like your car, if you're on your own, or if you have a friend with you, you both can, like, run out to the car and just kind of, like, sit together. And this is why I talk about at the beginning of every convention, walk around and know your places of where everything is. If you know that they do have, like, a destimulation room, or if there is an empty panel room with the doors open, you can kind of just, like, go in there, chill out for a few minutes, or however long you need. If staff comes in and it's like, why are you in here? You're just like, oh, I'm just destimulating from overstimulation. I won't be here long. And yeah, and definitely be mindful, but don't panic in a situation where if there's no place to destimulate, don't worry, because there should be a place and you will figure out where that place is. And yeah. I know every convention is kind of different. Usually, like, the amount of people. So even if it means going to, like, a seller's vendor's booth and be like, hey, can I just, like, sit down or, like, destimulate next to your booth for a while? I'm just...
There might be some nice folks out there that might understand and kind of give you, like, a minute or two just to take some deep breaths, drink some water, talk it out. If you have a friend there, social support is always a good thing, having somebody to help, whether find a space or a room or, like, go out to the parking lot with you. If not, again, come find me. If we're at the same convention, we will find you a room.
You can find me. My destimulation place is the bathroom.
The bathroom.
I just go to the bathroom, but then I just sit there until, like, I'm done being overstimulated. It's the best for me. Everyone has their place. Mine's just the bathroom.
And if it's nice outside or nice-ish, then like going outside, like far away from all the noise and whatnot. So, and of course, like going to your car and whatnot. I mean, I hope that more conventions do have just like a safe zone. I don't know what to officially call it. Just like a room that you just go and, like, quiet.
Yeah, maybe like a panel room that's empty at all times, just for
people that just need a break, because wearing the wigs, being on your feet, probably not eating as much or drinking enough water. You just need a place to kind of before you can go right into the convention. So,
or like just a place where you can feel like you're not gonna be overwhelmed doing something. Like, I know a lot of people, they don't like eating in front of other people, which is fine.
Yeah.
Like, they could go and, like, eat in that room as long as they clean up or whatever after. Like,
some places I've actually seen have a room where it's for staff, but it's more in a customer service lost and found fashion, but it's an actual room that you can go to. And if it's a staff run room, usually it'll be a little bit quieter, and they'll probably let you hang around there a little bit if you need to, get away, destimulate and all that. So that one, I've seen those rooms, and asking a staff member to show you where something like that might be would work. I'd say if the con has a room for that sort of thing and not just like a booth.
Yeah. Hopefully so. So, because we want folks to be well taken care of and whatnot. So, I do have one more question before we wrap up, which was somebody, I think Naomi posted it in the chat, and she was curious about when you want to get food, where do you go / how do you go get food, grab food? It's everybody's tactic.
There's a lot of options, to be honest. again, it's going to depend somewhat on where the convention is, how big the building that the convention is in is, and like the surrounding area and all that kind of thing. But usually a convention is going to have food that you can buy or snacks that you can buy in some kind of food court area. So that's always an option, although it is an expensive option, but it's always there. Otherwise, there might be restaurants in the surrounding area. A lot of convention centers do have a lot of restaurants that you can go to. If you're in a more urban area, you could probably walk to them. Otherwise, there's always Uber Eats or not sponsored, or one of those DoorDash, not sponsored, or anything like that. You can have somebody bringing you something, or even just do regular delivery, like order pizza to if you have a hotel room, or if your friend has a hotel room, have it sent there. Lots of places will deliver as well, so there's any number of options.
Yeah. The convention I go to every year, traditionally, or I've tried to go traditionally every year, it is set at a college campus, so you do have a food court in at Union Center. Normally around lunchtime, it just gets packed up. So I would try to be the first one whenever, any of those restaurants you want get open, so that way you can just take it and go and eat it whenever like you need to or you want to. I learned that the hard way my first year. Me and my friends just sat in that line for like, I don't know how long it was, but it was a long time. But yeah, they have food courts. There's as Sayo has said, there is a lot of options that you could choose from. It's just about planning out, how you're gonna get your food, and how long it's gonna be, when you're gonna get it, when you're gonna eat it. And if you know that you just want to order your lunch like right at the start of lunchtime, but you want to eat it later, if you're on like a trip or something, I would definitely pack like an empty lunchbox with some packs, or you can even make an ice pack if you don't have ice packs. Or you could like bring a cooler, so that way everyone can like just put their food in there, and you guys can just like either eat outside or eat together in the thing. But there's like a lot of options.
A lot of good stuff. So hopefully that helped answer it a little bit. I think we just like called ahead, like got pizza and stuff, and we just like called and then went and like picked it up and then headed back to the house. So there's definitely a lot of options. You can grab food there. I think mostly when I went to 4-State Comic-Con, they mostly had like concession stand food. But if you're looking for something a little bit more specific, I did remember either reading or seeing a video. I can't remember which one it was, but like the further away you go from convention, like the more kind of weird looks you'll get, that sort of thing, if you're not planning on like changing out of your cosplay to get food. So definitely have like a spare outfit. I know my backpack's gonna be huge and everything, but like have like a spare outfit. Take off the wig. Gosh, it feels so good to take off your wig and wig cap after a long day of wearing it. So but yeah, just like keep that in mind too, that the further you go out, the more people are going to be like, what is going on? But the more like closer you are, it's just like, oh yeah, you're just grabbing food. Good for you. Grab water. So grab tea. Alrighty, and with that, I'm all out of questions for this little podcast, but I always like to turn it over, see if y'all have questions for me. Sayo?
No questions.
Nope. Bella?
As usually, I don't have questions for you, but I do have a question for the chat. I need to speak words. If you feel like there's anything that you guys thought like we missed out when it comes to conventions, or you just want to like voice your answers to, definitely voice them down in the comments section too. And we'll read them if you have a question, we I think we'll answer them.
I usually try to.
I'm a little tired on this recording day, so
you're fine.
Listen to Jen more than me.
No, it's fine. Yeah, we always keep an eye out. There's always like one or two of us that will kind of like flip through the videos and at least once a week just to see if there's new comments and whatnot if we don't get the notification, because YouTube's like that sometimes. But yes, do share any questions you have about conventions, going, planning, share your experiences. And not only that, this video is going to kickstart a new little fun project series thing where we're going to be covering specific conventions. So, I mentioned like 4-State Comic-Con. I know KatsuCon was a couple weeks ago. There's RTX, which a lot of us have gone to. So we're going to be going like further into detail into these little or big conventions and kind of talking about those. So if there's some that you want us to cover or some that you want to come and talk about on a podcast, do let us know in the comments down below. We'll be looking for those, any suggestions. And yeah, so every once in a while you'll probably just see like, hey, we're going to talk about this convention and what you can do and prepare for. So, but we wanted to get all of our little tips and tricks out there before we get into the nitty-gritty. So that'll be exciting for sure. Alrighty. So, and with that, we are concluding our little fun convention. So just want to say thank you to our guest and tea sippers for attending. Thanks for being flexible with the schedule and whatnot. Really do appreciate you both being here, talking about conventions. A lot of good stuff. So I'm taking that Excel spreadsheet with me.
Do it. It helps. It is such a time saver.
Love it. All right.
My memory is not good, so.
We'll make it work. We will make it work. So avoid the con crunch, plan ahead, and thank you all so much for watching. We hope to see you next time for tea, and as always, keep sipping away. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for that wonderful piece of insight. I'm ready to have some fun.